Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome one, welcome all. It is the Lion Villain Report, and I am your host. It's your boy. It's Russell Wayne here live, and we are broadcasting live right now into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page, where we have over 54,000 villains, approaching 55,000 villains. We might be at 55,000 villains right now. We don't know. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to this content, like our YouTube page, which is at Villain Squad as well. And you can be like Pete right there. You can subscribe to that YouTube channel and you can say, hey, I took care of that thing for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then there's the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Thank you to Joe Chap and the boys over there at Detroit Lions News Podcast with 77,000 followers on their page. And then the JC Sports Network YouTube page right there. And we are brought to you by the NFL Shop. We are affiliate marketing partners. You can get one of those snazzy little hats right there, or you can grab one of these slick black jerseys right there. And if you use, let me get the right code out there. I gotta get a code in here for you for the Lions gear, because right now the NFL Shop is doing 30% off. And if you use that QR code, that's fine. But this code that I'm going to put into the comments right now, this one can get you 30% off of your gear right now. I just went on there. That is a beautiful thing right there. And then we have the Stars program. And right there, that is my beautiful wife. And she is an advocate for autism awareness. And we have decided to dedicate our Stars program. So if you comment using Stars, we're going to donate in the 100%. We want to be able to help her out because she is sharing resources for parents that have children with special needs. So if you want to help that, then just comment with a star and you will be helping that. So that brings us to where we are right here and right now. Welcome one, welcome all to the program, the Lions Villain Squad, and it's the bye week weekend, baby. Are you a Detroit Tigers fan? I don't mind talking a little bit about the Tigers. Tigers play at 1 p.m. today. And as you can see, the Lion right there, he's got the chili ready to go in the backyard. It's a beautiful day today. So how are you feeling out there? So let's say hello to our people in the comments right here. Good morning to Davey. One pride, it takes more. That's right, brother. It takes more, dude. Maybe I'll bust out some of the impressions today. Yeah. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. It's a good morning, and my Hulkamaniac Davey's in there. One pride, it takes more, brother. That's right. Maybe it's an impression Saturday. I have a very, very special impression, and we have to go through, and I'm not going to do it today. You have to come to Monday's show to hear this because the Dallas Cowboys have to play this week. And The Rock has something that he wants to say about the Dallas Cowboys, but he wants to make sure that he waits until the Dallas plays their game first. But The Rock has something to say about the Dallas Cowboys and the villain. I bet you didn't know that The Rock was a fan of the villain, but he's been there before. And Andre the Giant is also a fan of The Rock. You see, that's a baby Rock right there. That's a picture of The Rock when he was a little bit younger, when he could hold him in, Andre the Giant could hold him in one hand. A little baby Rock right there. But let's see what we got going on in here. So this right here is our Facebook page, and I want to put a shout out to our villain, our creative villain of the month right here, and that would be Miss Elise Memes. And you can follow the Queen of Memes by following that QR code right there, but Elise has came up with some fantastic memes, and I wanted to show them to you so you guys could see this. And do I have the wrong one on there? I do have the wrong one. But I'll say this first. This is the page over here. And I want to show you some of her memes right here. So I have these in the featured section on our Facebook page with our 54,000 people right here. And here is her meme right here. Receiving touchdowns this season, Travis Kelce, Jared Goff. Yeah, you got to turn it around a little bit right there. 15,000. You got 664 comments on this bad boy. Get in there and create a conversation on that post right there. But well done by Elise Memes on that one. And then we also have the Beavis and Butthead version right here, inspired out. The Lions kick ass. Yeah. Hey, Beavis, the Detroit Lions are cool. Yeah. And then this one right here, I really love this one. 18 for 18. Ain't no big deal. No big deal here. Yeah. I love it. I don't know if Elise is in there yet. Yeah, there it is. There's Elise Memes. Good morning. Good morning to my peeps right there. Go Tigers. But I wanted to put a shout out to Elise. She is our creative villain of the month. And we do got Paul Jones in there. Jeffrey Addison is now part of the page. And Stephen Michael. And you can look at some of his stuff on there. So we'll see who's going to win the next month. But let's see. Restore the Roar. In 2024, 40 years. 40 years. That's what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting more than 40 years. 1957. 1950. You might be talking about the Tigers. You might be talking about Tigers right there. My bad. My bad. My bad. But and this right here, the NFL shop, this link that's in the comments right now, you can save 30% on your order. I don't mean to pump the sponsor down your throat, but that's a pretty good deal. That's the best deal that they've offered us since we've been affiliate marketing partners with us. I haven't seen a 30% on there. So it might be a good day to go get yourself some Lions gear. But let's get in here. And what I wanted to talk about a little bit was the Tigers. Because, I'm going to admit that I've been unfamiliar with the Tigers this year because we've been putting so much time into the Lions stuff. But, I am a Tigers fan. There was a time when Verlander was on here where I can admit that I actually watched every single game of the season with my boy Scotty Reno staying over there. That it had to have been before. It was before I met my wife. And so we're talking 10 years ago. But I remember there was some Tiger fever in here. And I love the Tigers. And I love the Tigers. And here they are. They built a team very similar to with the Lions. So the game today is at 1:00. And I don't want you guys. The game's at 1:00 today. And the Tigers just beat the Houston Astros down in Texas. And I don't know. We can make it a bad couple weeks for the city of Houston or the state of Texas here, especially if we can go down to Jerry's World and get a victory. But the Tigers this year, when it comes to some of the pitching, they call it like a pitching chaos. If you're new to the Tigers ride, welcome to what AJ Hinch has called the pitching chaos, in which the openers and a bulk of relievers muck up the pitching probables on days when Skubal isn't starting. As dangerous as the top Cleveland lineup is, Hinch has deployed Horton as the opening game. So Holton has pitched both of the wild card series games starting one, allowing no hits in 1 1/3 inning. And the Guardians are going to start Tanner Bibby. And Bibby has evolved into a Guardians ace. And after the team lost Shane Bieber in the first week of the season and desperately needed someone else to step up, in the 22 outings the season, half of them were quality starts. Cleveland needed an innings eater, and Bibby averaged about 6 innings per outing in that span. And most importantly, his last 3 starts were among the best of the season. He faced the Tigers 4 times, pitching with a 4.5 ERA in 21 innings. So the starting lineups like this stuff. Okay, you know what? I could probably share this thing with you. So here we go with the starting lineups here. Let me share this tab instead. There's Parker Meadows leading off center field. Kerry Carpenter. You got Riley Green doing the DH right there. Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson, Zach McKinstry, Trey Sweeney, Jake Rogers. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a great lineup. The Tigers are such an interesting team because they gave up on the season. They gave up on the season and they brought up all these young guys, and the young guys just decided to win anyway. And is this the most dangerous team in baseball right now? Those of you that know baseball, I'd love to hear your comments on this because I am a football guy. Jason MC says, how's the bye week treating you guys? And this is what I'm talking about, Jason. Like, our Tigers are doing well. So the Tigers made the playoffs on the Lions bye week, which makes it interesting. So we actually get to watch a baseball game today. And I admittedly have not watched this team a lot this year because I'm a Lions guy. I've been in here, man. I could tell you who the backup punter is. We don't have one, but I couldn't. I know of some of these players that are on here. I mean, I admittedly, I know who Parker Meadows is. I know Riley Green. I know Spencer Torkelson, Trey Sweeney, and I know Jake Rogers is the catcher. But I don't know all these other guys like Zach McKinstry. I don't know much about these guys. Matt Vierling, don't know. 3 for 9 with 2 homers off of BB. So the Tigers, what ours? Look at that. Left-handed hitters have a much better OPS off of BB or Bibby. My bad, I keep on saying BBs. Righties are 579, including 14 of Bibby's 22 home runs allowed. That plays into the Tigers' strength of left-handed hitting. Kerry Carpenter, 2 for 4 with a home run off Bibby. Riley Green, 3 for 12. And Colt Keith, 4 for 9 with 3 RBIs. Wow. This is amazing to me because, like I said, I remember Sports Talk Radio talk about these guys, left for dead in July. So David says they are the most dangerous. Help me out, guys. Tell me a little bit. Tell me the best thing about the Detroit Tigers. Why should I believe that they can beat the Guardians? Should I believe that they can beat the Guardians? I mean, or is this just is the Cinderella? Is the glass slipper? Is the glass slipper just going to be gone? And I'm going to get all pumped up, try to get involved in this team and watch them lose the first series, right? I watched the last 2 games, and they're impressive in the way that they play baseball. It's like, it seemed like back in the day when they had Miguel Cabrera and Fielder and like all these quote unquote superstar hitters. I mean, you knew where you were supposed to be scoring runs. Like this team, they just play good baseball. They run the bases well. They play the small game well. So, 3 Central Division teams in the ALDS makes it the most dangerous division in baseball right now. That's crazy. Like either way, in this, you're going to get a Central team making, the semifinals. The conference championship. American League Championship could be Central teams. That would be kind of cool. No matter what, you get a Central team into the big dance. So the Tigers are playing literally with nothing to lose right now. Is that fair to say? Great comment, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Hello, David. They used the form system players. Okay, the farm system players. God, I can't read right now. I got a glare coming in here, so I'm not seeing my thing well. The farm system players. So, but they were going to be major leaguers. They said that the Tigers had like one of the best farm systems in baseball. So Big M says, "Good morning, Villain Squad." And yes, the young team is dangerous, and they are playing with house money and have no expectations and nothing to lose. Free and easy, go Tigers and go Lions. And I wanted to promo something for you guys because I know that some of you like my impressions. I don't know what somebody doesn't like, but I have an impression that I have been working on for The Rock. And I have been saving this thing up for the Dallas Cowboys. And this thing I am going to bust out on Monday. In the morning, I am going to bust out my Rock impression because he's got something that he wants to say about the Dallas Cowboys and what happened last year and this game we're about ready to play. Now, I can't do it because I don't want to do the impression about them while they still have a game to play. I don't want to do it today. But I'm going to let you know my Rock impression is coming out on Monday in the morning. It's Monday in the morning where Christopher Walken, his favorite show, is the Lion in the Villain Report. You can watch it. It could be good for you. It could be good. It could be good for your life. You're watching the Lions Villain Report right now, and it's a good show. If you like football, you should watch this show in the mornings. It's just 10 a.m. in the mornings, Monday through Saturday. Football's on Sunday, and you don't do it. I'm not going to do a show while I'm watching football. It's the same time. It wouldn't be good. Just talking to my guy. You're talking to my guy all wrong. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you. I appreciate you. Gosh, you don't know how much that means. Christopher Walken on our show. That's crazy. I love it. Mark in the house. Tigers have a very young roster, and they're just coming into their own. Good to be good for years. That's a good point right there. I mean, they're paying these guys like $1.50. And I heard some crazy stat the other day that I brought up where I can't think of the name of that pitcher that came in the 8th inning, the Houston pitcher with the long hair. Oh, I can't think of what his name is. But this guy, that doesn't matter. But this guy that was pitching in the 8th inning, his salary for the year was more than the entire Detroit Tigers roster right now. With all these young guys coming up, making $1.50 from the farm system. The Twins just fired Levine. Okay. Yeah, Twins ain't happy. They can't be happy about that. You know, coming down the stretch right there, that was the Twins spot that the Tigers took. I mean, who would have thought that? I mean, they had to be the best team in baseball in order just to make the playoffs. They were so far out of it, it was, that's why they went to the farm system. They were just, whatever. I mean, it's pretty miraculous what they did down the stretch. So, man, excuse me. Let's see. Pitching has really produced lately, and can CB one at you in many ways. That they can come. I don't know. Yeah, they can come at you in a whole bunch of different ways. That's what they called this thing. The pitching. The little pitching deal, where it's kind of like the pitching chaos thing that they do. I mean, that whole pitching chaos thing kind of reminds me of the way that the Minnesota Vikings play defense. The pitching chaos is because, God, I really like Brian Flores. Jason MC, if you're there right now, I'm gonna give you guys some props right here because I love Brian Flores and the way that he plays defense. So Brian Flores he leads the league in jailhouse blitzes, sending 6 or more. He leads the league. But he also leads the league in the base defense and not sending anybody and dropping as many people back into coverage as they can. So they go up on the line and you have no idea where the pressure's coming from. So that puts a very big disadvantage to offensive lines trying to defend that and picking up blitzes because you have no idea where the pressure's coming from. And you're getting it all or you're not getting anything. And you're dropping these guys back into coverage. So the only thing that I saw that was susceptible to was the run game. And you can run right at blitzes because obviously if you're blitzing 6 guys, 2 guys are going to be left out in the limbo. But anyway, what that has to do with the way that we pitch, the pitching chaos, they can't prepare. Their hitting can't go, okay, we're playing Scoople, so I'm going to, we're going to prepare, trying to hit those outside sliders. We're going to prepare as if we're facing Scoople. But no, they're going to hit you with 5-6 different pitchers that can all give you, an inning or two, all different forms of pitching. So I like that. So the pitching has been good lately. The bullpen can attack hitters in many different ways. And you love my guests. You love my guests. Sometimes we can get some famous people on here. Sometimes one day we might actually be able to get the real people. Big M says that 3 out of the 4 teams left in the American League playoffs are from our division. Big M Hinge has been masterful on his decisions and handling of the young guys. It's crazy because I remember Sports Talk Radio. A lot of people were mad at Hinge, thinking that it's taken too long, and a lot of people wanted him fired at the beginning of the season. So I'm not one of those people. I believe that I believe in systems. Brad Holmes has made me a believer in systems. Brad Holmes has made me a believer in patience of player development. And AJ Hinge has a championship pedigree, whether he cheated or whether he didn't cheat. So it's obvious he's somebody that has already developed a young roster to a championship team is a good candidate to develop a team that has a championship pedigree. Brad Holmes came from a place that had a championship pedigree in the Rams. You might say that he was one of the gems from that because Brad Holmes is batting, if you're thinking baseball, let's use the baseball averages to tell you how good Brad Holmes is. Like when you got a 7-round draft and if you're batting, 400, for all the rest, you're talking about guys that are on your team and contributing to the team in a positive way. If you bat 400, you're thriving in the NFL because obviously you want to hit on your first round pick. But if you're not hitting on some of them late round picks, then you're going to be dead in the water because you can't buy good rosters. You have to develop good rosters. Guys that are on your team making $1.50 because they're on a rookie contract have to play well because you can't pay all of these guys. So, where are you watching the game, man? What are you eating for the game? Because I'm trying not to get into some Lions homerness. Oh, hold on one second, guys. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to do something and if I don't get kicked off of here, but I got to go get a battery plug right here. So I'm going to give you some background music here for a second and I'll be right back. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. I didn't realize I didn't have my power cord out here. I was about ready to lose the whole stream with that. But grit core, it takes more. One of these days, we're going to have a budget. I guess this right here would be a good time for me to promote Mr. Mike over here. Say, if you want to partner with the Villain Squad and be guilty by association, we do 7 shows a week, and there is an awesome opportunity for promo. There's thousands of people that watch this program, and I really do appreciate the live audience. I love you guys. I love the way that you guys ask questions and do everything, because it makes it more interesting for the bulk of the people that actually watch the replay of this show, because we can be entertaining. That's what I love. Broski comes in here and is a Bear fan. He gets me all fired up and calls me out and pulls emotion out of me. And I think that makes for good entertainment. And that's what you guys want to be. Are you not entertained? Oh gosh, they're hot, they're young, and they're gritty. Don't you love having a team, a baseball team that is like the Lions? They're on the way up. They're going to bite a kneecap. I don't know those players. I don't know how many people actually follow farm systems. I did a little bit when the Tigers were really, really good with Verlander and Scherzer and Cabrera. They had those legendary teams. I followed the farm system. I wanted to see who was coming up, and but I don't follow it that close anymore. So, are there any followers of the farm system that could see some of these guys coming up, and you're looking at this lineup? Did anybody see that on the horizon with Parker Meadows and Riley Green? I know Riley Green was a real high pick. I know that Spencer Torkelson showed some flashes last year, and spell check hasn't been my friend today. Sorry, Russell. Yeah, sometimes I'm trying to read these things. I already have bad eyesight as it is. And you might see me on here wearing glasses sooner than later, as soon as I can find some that doesn't have the glare stuff, so I can read these comments a little bit better. So Big M, it really was David. Unbelievable run, much fun. Hopefully they keep it going. The magic is here. I'm eating BEC all year to honor the Jets and Rodgers one more time. So that's going to be an interesting game right there. You want to talk about that one, Jason? I hope that you guys don't think that that's a gimme in that game, because I know that you guys beat San Francisco, and kudos to that, because I did not think I'll eat my crow. Yummy, yummy, yummy crow. That's what I was eating, because I thought that the 49ers were going to spank you. And I wised up the week after that but I did think that the Houston Texans were going to beat you, but I didn't think that you guys were going to go in there and spank them guys like that. So, but this Jets defense is different than the way that the San Francisco 49ers play. They can come and get pressure on you and get pressure with 4 guys, but you guys have a good offensive line. So I think that whole game is going to come down to how good is your offensive line. Can your offensive line keep them guys at bay? The matchup between Sauce Gardner and Justin Jefferson. Oh my God. That's like I'm frothing at the mouth on a bye week game. just digging it. I mean, how can you not dig that? Jason says there's no gimmies with Rodgers, and I don't even think it's Rodgers as much that you got to worry about. Because I love Brian Flores, Jason. I think that he's a great defensive coordinator. I think that he got hosed, and if things had went a little bit differently, that he would probably be a head coach right now. He was that good. I mean, he under the head coaching of the Miami Dolphins, he was very good. I mean, I haven't seen too many coaches that get fired after winning seasons, and that's why a lot of Lions fans were mad about the Jim Caldwell. Fire him after a winning season. But this Brian Flores defense is susceptible to a team that can run the football, because that's what you call blitz killers right there. Because if you run to the opposite side of a blitz, you're probably going to score, because they're dedicating 2 extra guys that are definitely not going to be in the play. And if you run to the opposite side of that, a good running team knows where to mix the protections to make the most guys useless. So that's the thing, and when you bring guys up on the line, even if you try to drop them back to coverage, you're still pedaling backwards while offensive linemen and wide receivers are blocking downhill. So that puts you at a disadvantage on the run. So Breece Hall, long story short, Jason MC, I think Breece Hall is the biggest guy that needs to be stopped in this. Because if Breece Hall gets going, Aaron Rodgers is going to dice you guys up. when you got him. So right, great take. Yes, I do watch the other teams. So when I run my mouth, I at least try to have a little bit of knowledge in there. But who else do we got? Playing? You got the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is, the Google. I know the Google. The Packers. It's the Packers. The Packers coming in there and playing the Rams at 4:25 in the late game. And that's not a gimme either. I think that the Rams are one of those sleeper teams, right? They were supposed to be a playoff team, and they got off to a not so good start. You know what I'm saying? Like they got out to the not so good start, and that's all right. And that's all right, because they still have Matt Stafford, and he seems to make heroes out of people. They beat the 49ers, and they've had 3 bad. I mean, they're sitting there at 1-3, with their backs up against the wall. Because if they go to 1-4, I mean, the season's over at this point. You got to go into, they're in survival mode right now. So that's a dangerous team right there. And there is blood in the water when it comes with the Rams. There's blood in the water because they got some injuries, and good coaches can scheme up some stuff. So this could be an ugly game for the Rams, but I wouldn't sell them out on this. So McVay is such a good coach, and Matty Stafford passes for 350 yards in that game against the Packers. I mean, I don't know. Are they getting any of the players back? for the Rams. When it comes, let me look at that. See, Rams injury report. Let's look and see what they got here. Injury report, week 5 versus the Pack. Let's see what they got in here. Cooper Kupp did not practice. He'll be out. Hutchinson, defensive end, limited practice, but he's listed as out. Darius Williams practiced in full. Demarcus Robinson practiced in full. Tre'Davious White did not practice, but he's not listed as out yet. But nobody else is listed on this injury report. Let's see. Head coach Sean McVay earlier this week said the Kupp wouldn't play. Additionally, Lauren Hutchinson forearm has been ruled out after breaking his foot in the first day of practices and returning from preseason. Sean McVay, on a positive note, on the positive side, McVay said Darius Williams is expected to play on Sunday. For the Packers, defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt has been ruled out. Receivers Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs' personal matter are considered doubtful for Sunday's game. And Green Bay also lists 7 questionable players. And for their questionable players is Jair Alexander, Elgin Jenkins on the offensive line. Luke Musgrave is questionable. Cornerback Valentine is questionable. Jordan Morgan is questionable. Cooper, linebacker, questionable. Jonathan Ford, questionable. Wow, that's 2 defensive linemen in there. So these guys banged up. That's what you call. This is where you're going to actually find out, because you got all these names, right? You put all these names up there, and it's the depth. It's the depth that makes the team. It's what can you do when some of your best players are out? That's the question that you got to ask. And that's a depth game. There's quite a few players that are out for the Rams and quite a few players that are out for the Packers. So this is a depth game. The guys the outside people like myself, I don't follow the Packers that close to where I'm going to know if these backup players are any good. So how do you play? Last week, the Lions had to get a win without Frank Ragnow. And, and they caught a break because Seattle was also injured on the opposite side of the ball. But you moved Graham Glasgow into center, brought in Coyote Awasika, and they played fine. And that's a testament to the depth. Frank Ragnow, the best center in football, was out with a torn pec. Next man up, they step in, they did just fine. Brian Branch. Now, you can argue with me on this at all, but the Lions were missing Brian Branch on Sunday in the third quarter. I don't know what anybody wants to say about that, but the thing is you have to be able to win games without your best players. Your best players are not going to be there sometimes. Ifeatu Melifonwu hasn't been there at all this year. You have to find a way to win without your best players. Ifeatu Melifonwu last year got his opportunity as a starter because the starter got injured. It's the next man up. Next man up. Who do you got? You got offensive linemen injured? Next man up. Packers defense has been pretty good, but they haven't faced a QB like Stafford yet this season. Yeah, but Stafford's got a whole bunch of guys injured too. Stafford's going to have to, make Wendell Robinson a number one receiver. You got no Christian Watson. Dobbs is crazy. So, I mean, Jaden Reed, there you go. He's your receiver now. You can kind of key in on that. We're going to learn a little bit more about the Packers this Sunday. There you go. Bears maul the Panthers. Packers destroy the Rams. Not sure about the Vikings game right now. Need to look a little bit closer. I don't know if you guys are going to maul the Panthers. We'll see about that. This is a great game for Caleb Williams to have that game. This game right here, I know what Broski's feeling right here. I'm not even going to push back on that part. I picked the Panthers to cover the spread in this. But I wouldn't go out there and say that the Panthers would beat the Bears. This is teed up for a signature Soldier Field win. And I don't even know if are you guys there? Are you guys in Carolina or is Carolina coming to Soldier? I don't think that's really going to matter because I don't think the Panthers have any fans. But as a matter of fact, that might actually be like a home game for you, even if you guys are playing down there, because I know that the Chicago fans will travel a little bit too. David says that definitely missed Brian Branch on the other side. He got a can of whoop ass right there. Romeo Dobbs was unhappy in Green Bay, skipped the practices. Okay. Rams will sign the Raiders wide receiver is what I think. Oh, okay. That's a good call right there. I like that call. You're probably right. They don't mind using those picks. That's a great call out. I love that one, David. That's a great one. It was said that Dobbs was disgruntled in Green Bay. Why would he be disgruntled in Green Bay? I don't get it. I'm not sure. I think that, that he's been used pretty good. He's got a role in that offense. I don't understand why he would be upset. Because they drafted Jaden Reed when he felt like he could get an opportunity or whatever? Jaden Reed's a better wide receiver than he is. I mean, the Packers had a chance to go get a stud wide receiver in the second round. You passed up Brian Branch to get him, but Reed is really good. Red Wings have new life. This won't be a cakewalk, right? The Red Rocket. Is that what it is? The Red Rocket? The Red Rifle? I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to call it the Red Rocket. That's what Mike's dog has when he's really excited. Caleb Williams and DJ Moore have a good connection so far. Yes. This is teed up. As the NFC North, it's like I don't think that the Packers are going to walk all over the Rams in this game. Just because, like, I read that injury report right there. That ain't no joke. You don't just recover from some of that stuff. Your depth is going to be tested. I mean, especially if Jair Alexander doesn't play, because then your whole backfield is mortal. Because you got something good right there in your backfield, Steve, in that defensive backfield when Xavier McKinney and Jair are out there. together. There's a good push-pull. It's good because Jair is one of the best when he's fully healthy. But if you don't have Jair there, you're mortal. I mean, Xavier McKinney can't cover everybody. And that is something right there. Steve says, I believe that Reed and Wicks, Melton, Heath are going to be targeted more. Dobbs found at home unhappy and disgruntled. So apparently he isn't playing tomorrow. That's too bad. Dobbs is a good receiver. He was actually my favorite receiver that you guys drafted that year. Because I believe you got Watson and then Dobbs was a later round pick. But I thought Dobbs was better than Watson in that draft class. So that's too bad that he feels like that. I mean, I don't know. Reed, Wicks, Melton, and Heath. Melton and Heath are okay. Reed's a stud wide receiver. Wicks, I'm still on the fence about right there. I mean, I still believe you got a bona fide number one. I think Wicks could be a number two, but the other guys are just Jags. Melton's just a guy. Heath is just a guy. You know, it depends on how you guys use those guys. You know, I mean, the Lions got a couple of just a guy receivers. You know, I think Tim Patrick right now can be considered a Jag. You know, Khalif Raymond is a Jag, but we use our just the guys. You know, the guys that are on the Lions, and I don't know if it's the same way for the Packers, but, you know, we love Khalif Raymond. You know, he's not going to lead the league in receiving ever, but he plays the role that he plays in Detroit, and he plays it really well. You can always count on him to make the big catch. You know, he's only going to get targeted 2 or 3 times in a game, but he always makes the most of those little opportunities. You know, does the punt returning well. So I don't know if Heath and Melton are those types of guys for you, but you are watching the Lion Villain Report. We're on a bye week, man. It's a bye week weekend. We got the Guardians playing the Detroit Tigers today at 1 o'clock. What you eating up? What you cooking up? You going to cook up some of that stew right there? Like Leo the Lion right there? He's in the backyard. Going to enjoy the good day sunshine. Good day sunshine. Good day sunshine. Yeah. Are we going to see Donald Schwarzenegger? Who are we going to see? I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go into the New York Stadium, and I'm going to throw lots of touchdown passes to Justin Jefferson. Come on. You can get on the back of Donald Schwarzenegger. Come on. What's going to happen to those Minnesota Vikings playing that New York Jets defense? It's a trap game for the Vikings. They're riding high right now, too. I'm sorry. Darnold has been fantastic for the Minnesota Vikings up until this point. But Sam Darnold has a history of epic meltdown games. If he can be consistent throughout the whole year, I might change my tune. But Arnold Schwarzenegger is due. He is due. But like I said at the beginning of the season with him, Darnold has never been in a situation like this before. I think that there also is the other side of this coin is Darnold might be just coming into his own right here. And the Minnesota Vikings may have stumbled onto a franchise quarterback that they may even consider extending and paying a lot of money to, because he's never in his career been in a situation like this. Now, I know he didn't throw the Jets under the bus when he was talking. He didn't throw them under the bus. He said, "Hey, that whole thing there was, that was part me," and it probably was. But then he went to Carolina, and then he was in San Francisco as a backup for a minute. That's probably a pretty humbling experience. And then he goes to Minnesota, where they got an offensive line, where they got a good running back in Aaron Jones. I still have no idea why the Packers think that Jacobs is better than Aaron Jones. I mean, as good, sure, but that's a running game right there. Darrisaw is a real offensive lineman. Justin Jefferson is a bona fide number one wide receiver, maybe the best wide receiver in the NFL. I think Darnold Schwarzenegger, I think that this is a blessed opportunity for him in there. He could make a name for himself and become a hero in the city of Minnesota, or in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. So there's that side of the coin. Now, does he have a history of melting down every once in a while and then coming back down to earth? Yes, he does. But he's never been in a situation where he's had Justin Jefferson. He actually has TJ Hawkinson probably coming back in the Detroit game. So I consider the Minnesota Vikings a real threat. I don't think that it's just a thing anymore because of Brian Flores and the fact that you have a good offensive line. When you're good in those areas, it's something. How upset would Viking fans be if Rodgers beats them again? And Rodgers doesn't have to be the Rodgers of old. He can hide behind a pretty good defense right here. Russ, the Panthers have a very solid O-line and a solid running game, which have been the Bears' weaknesses. Bears are going to get after Dalton early and often and knock him around. Yeah, I think that I agree with you on that. I think the Bears should win this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like you think it's going to be a blowout, because I actually took the Panthers and the points, because I think it was 4 points when we did the show the other day. I just think the Panthers are going to play close. They're going to play close to you. The red rifle is decent. He's a decent quarterback. He's a good game manager. But you guys should beat the Panthers. You guys should beat the Panthers. This should be like defensively, you guys should be able to move the ball. I think that Caleb's going to be under the least amount of pressure that he's been in any of the games so far. So I'll go with that. The Vikings defense will be all over Rodgers. He won't have a lot of time to pass. I don't know if I agree with that. It's all going to depend. And this is, I don't know if you were here earlier when I had made this take. I think it has more to do with Breece Hall, because that Vikings defense is susceptible to be run on. Because if you understand the misdirections and everything, you can leave some of those blitzers looking dumb. You know, when they send 6, you run to the opposite side. That can be a big run, touchdown run. And that's what they're susceptible to. And Breece Hall is one of the best in the game. So my guess, if Minnesota can stop the run, then yes, I agree with you. The Vikings defense will be all over Rodgers. If they make him one-dimensional, I don't think that Rodgers is going to just be able to carve up that defense. That Minnesota defense. But I don't think that he's going to have to. I mean, the question on the other side, Mark, being, Sauce Gardner versus the best wide receiver in football. That's going to be a big deal. Broski, Panthers defense is a complete joke at all levels. Trash D-line, trash linebackers, trash secondary. This should be a get-right game. Everyone and their mom picking the Vikings, but the Jets have some players and need the game more. Yes, agreed right there. And if this was at the Jets, it would be easier to pick the Jets. Jets are good on defense, and defense travels well, broski. It's harder. A defense can travel a lot better because it's the opposite problem, right? When you're on defense and you're at home, the defense is they help you out a lot, but it's the opposite when you're on the road. And I think that defense travels better because they're going to be quiet for their offense, and the defense is going to be able to get their communication out too. I hope Harrison Smith gets his third INT from Rodgers. There you go. Just think that the Vikings could be 5-0 and the Viking fans would claim the division already. That's fine. They can do that. The thing is like if they don't go ahead 2 games, the Vikings still got to play the Lions. So to me, you can make up that ground in that game. And the Lions can run the football. And that's exactly the way that we would play, that I think that we'd play the Vikings. We have an offensive line that can pick up the blitz too. And that's where the Lions were able to get deciding victories when it comes down to the Vikings last year. At the end of the game, that it is what it is. You got to make them one-dimensional. Teams that can make you one-dimensional. That's why the Bears are so dangerous. Bears and the Packers both 3-2 after this Sunday. Vikings most likely going 5-0. Man, people sleeping on these Jets, man. That's cool. We aren't doing that, Steve. You guys aren't going 5-0? You believe they're going to beat the Jets? Good morning, Sarah. You missed me talking some real good stuff about the Vikings. I've liked Brian Flores. I think that he's a great, just a great defensive coordinator. I think he should be a head coach, and you might lose him into a head coaching job if he keeps going the way that he's going. But now you're getting to see that defense of the Vikings at the full potential. Like you got guys now that are in those spots playing in the Vikings defense. Last year you didn't have the talent. You had the defensive scheme. I like the defensive scheme, but you didn't have the talent last year. Now with Grenard and Van Ginkel. And I mean, really, I think that if a team can find a way to attack your secondary, on the outside, that's you could have some success there. That's probably where the Vikings' weakest part of the defense is you're able to attack that secondary. But schematically, I love it. You're either sending 6 or you're backing off everybody into the secondary, and you don't know what's going to happen until the last second. So if you don't have a quick, good offensive line that can make adjustments on the fly and know, then the Vikings can make you have a long day on offense. Mark, getting back into the Tigers. Tigers still doesn't have a good connection with most of the receivers yet, for some reason, except for Wilson. I guess I don't understand that one. Rodgers still doesn't have a good connection with most of his receivers yet, except Wilson, especially Wilson. Yeah, Wilson was disgruntled a little bit. Is that what I heard? Oh, Sarah is saying that you're not going to claim the division after 5. Oh, okay, I gotcha. That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, it's going to be great in the division this year. I mean, to me, the jury's still out on the Packers. I mean, after this legendary start of Jordan Love finishing the season and everybody touting how great Jordan Love was, they give him a big contract, and now he's 0-2. He's 0-2 this year. It was Malik Willis that won your games for you. Is Jordan Love really good? I don't know. I mean, can you get in there? Is he just I know that Jordan Love is good, but is he really good? Is he as good as they made him out to be at the end of last season? Because what was he? Is that 8-2 down the stretch or something like that? Or 8-3 down the stretch? Well, now he's 8-5. So I mean, you can only go off that past history, right? So he comes in and loses the game. I mean, they got murdered in that game. That game wasn't that close. The Vikings really beat the crap out of you guys. Beat your ass. You know, I'm sure that Brian Flores is yelling at the defense for relaxing and playing in the prevent and letting them come back. But you were never in any position to win that game. The Vikings got scared 0 times. Their heart may have, did something on the onside kick, which is just as successful as a Hail Mary. So, but you were never in that game. I can't even give Love all of that credit for coming back in that game. There's a ton of quarterbacks in the NFL that can do a hurry-up offense and take the ball down the field on a prevent defense. That's what Love did at the end of that game. And that's okay. But I'm just going to ask. I want to say, are the Packers for real? Steve says loves the bank account and is good. Is really good, and we know. Okay. Go Lions. Good morning, broski, from Sarah, getting everybody in there. What is your take on Kelsey and Kittle? Do you think they're too old and almost washed up? I don't know. Probably not. I wouldn't say that they're washed up. I'll say that, like, NFL defenses scheme you well. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's like all these guys, like trash teams. I don't think that there's any trash players. I mean, I think, trash coaching, no chemistry, but like all of the guys are talented and teams know how to stop Kelsey, right? So they're putting resources into stopping Kelsey, which is making Patrick Mahomes have to go to different players. So if Patrick Mahomes can be successful in making these other players successful, then it'll come back to they have to stop those other players, which will open things back up for Kelsey to do well it's the same thing that's happening with Laporta. Once NFL defenses figure out how you want to do stuff, they take it away from you. So, and that's why you constantly got to be evolving in, changing up, putting new wrinkles into your offensive, because they'll figure you out. That's what NFL defenses do. So I don't think either one of them are washed up. I think that you're going to see some breakout games with those guys. Now, are they washed up into, are they going to get 1,000, 1,200 yards and be the dominating fantasy football tight ends? I don't know about that. But what do you want out of your tight end? Honestly, what is a tight end? A tight end is 5 to 8 catches. A good tight end, 5 to 8 catches, 50 to 70 yards, and a TD or not a TD really gauges whether they have a good game. And that's like NFL tight end, starting NFL tight end. If you can get 5, 6, 7 catches, somewhere between 50 and 100 yards, that's good production from a tight end. Any NFL team would take it. All tight ends are struggling this season, it seems like. I can probably get that. We still have to find a kicker. Yeah, you definitely need one of those. I trust KOC and Flores more than I trust Saleh and Hackett. That's true. I can get aboard on that because they're still trying to find themselves, with having Aaron Rodgers on their team, right? I mean, really, the best part of the New York Jets is the defense. They got a good defense, Sarah. Like, really, you want to say you really want to see you really want to see them be able to try to move the ball. Like if Darnold can move the ball without creating turnovers, then I think that you have a really, really good chance to win that game. But here's the thing: is you got to be willing when you play the New York Jets, and this is just a fact. But if you go and you play the New York Jets, you have to play that ugly game. You have to play that ugly game. They're going to stop you, and they're going to frustrate you. Their defense is good enough to do that. They play an annoying style of defense that doesn't really give up big plays or give up run. Like even the San Francisco 49ers are kind of like they're susceptible to get run on if you have a good offensive line, right? The Jets, they're schematically a lot like the Vikings, and where they're just annoying. They do play well against the run. They're really good against the pass too. And it's like that team, the Jets, is an Aaron Rodgers resurgence away from being a very dangerous team. Because when you got a good defense, you don't need your offense to be, game breakers. You just need your offense not to screw up, score points where the points are there. But so Jets a weak run defense, so I see them running the ball. That would be great. That would be great because that'll help out Sam Darnold. That's what's helped out Sam Darnold this year. Jets are. I don't think their run defense is weak. I think their pass defense is better than their run defense. Their offense hasn't done them any favors yet, but haven't seemed like Saleh and Rodgers have been on the same page this year. Also, watch the way they've been communicating during the games. I don't know. The last game, I mean, we can look at that. The New York Jets. Let's really look at that. Look at some of their games. New York Jets. And they just look at their history right here. They just beat the crap out of the Patriots. No big deal. They beat the Titans, and they lost to the 49ers. They got beat up by the 49ers. They beat the Giants, and they beat the that's in preseason right there. Okay, so 49ers lost. They beat the Titans, beat the Patriots, and the Broncos beat them last week. Let's look at that game right there. Bo Nix, 12 for 25 for 60 yards and a touchdown. So under 50% completion. See, that's the type of game you got to be prepared to win, Sarah. That's the type of game you got to be prepared to win. You know, the 49ers got them in that first game when I'm looking at these things. The player stats, like you said, Breece Hall, no, really 3.4 yards a carry. That's really good against the run. I'm just looking. I'm trying to find your running. You said they're weak against the run, so I'm trying to find that where they're weak against the run. The Titans, Tony Pollard, 3.6 yards a carry, 17 carries for 62 yards. That is absolutely stopping the run. So even in the loss, they stopped the run against the 49ers, who have Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if I can agree with you on this one, Sarah. You know, I am just looking at stats right here. Maybe I'm overselling it right here. Let's see. Stats, Patriots, Antonio Gibson. Okay, well, he averaged five carries for 29 yards. He averaged some nice stuff right there, but I'm not really, 5 carries. So 11 carries for the whole offense. 11 carries. So you had Stevenson averaged 3.9 yards per carry. That's stopping the run, Sarah. This team stops the run. See what else we got here. And was it the last game here? Was it just in the Broncos game? Let's see what they did in the Broncos game. Javonte Williams. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, you guys. I think that my face is in there. I'm sitting here looking at this stuff, and I'm looking at it, and you guys aren't seeing it right there. Yeah, they ran in this game 16, 24, 31, 32 carries, 5.1. So they did rush in this game, but they rushed because they couldn't do anything else. That is, 12 for 25 for 65 yards. That is, if you want to say, I would say I guess they didn't stop the run in that game, but you hold a team to 10 points and lose. At some point, Sarah, McCaffrey played in that game, didn't he? That was the first game of the season. Of course they played. McCaffrey didn't play in this game. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're right. 49ers rushing. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jordan Mason had 140. Okay, they got ran on. They got ran on in that game. I was looking at the wrong side. Yeah, I did. I was looking at the wrong side right there. Yep. So, yeah, they got ran on by the San Francisco 49ers, and that's it. But here's the thing is, like, the San Francisco 49ers got a very, very good left tackle in Trent Williams, maybe the best in the game. And to Sarah's point, McCaffrey didn't play, but Mason still ran all over him. So, and Darisaw and Aaron Jones could have a big game. And if they get that play action going again, that's where guys like Sam Darnold and guys like Jared Goff are successful. It's like, it is what it is. It's not a weakness to be a pocket quarterback that can have a good running game and be good on play action. And that's what I think Sam Darnold is. I think Sam Darnold's got better wheels than Goff does. But they play well off of the play action. And if they can get that going with Aaron Jones, then that's going to be good. Our next 5 games, the Rams, home against the Cardinals, home games against the Texans, and then Jaguars at home against the Lions. I say we go 4-1. Well, okay. That's cool. I can see you guys beating the Cardinals. I can see you beating the Rams. The Vikings made the Texans look beatable. Jaguars are a dumpster fire. Yeah, you can go 4-1 and lose to the Lions. I like pocket passers that can run when they have to. Pocket passers are the most underrated commodity in the NFL today. And that's going to be my last stint on this show right here. The underrated commodities, I preach this all the time on here, is the average NFL fan looks at these running quarterbacks as the end-all be-all. Oh, my God, look at what he can do out of the pocket. He can do off-platform stuff. Not realizing that off-platform stuff is about 10% of the game. And the other 90% is dropping back, reading the coverage, first progression, second progression, third progression, and getting the ball into the hands of the playmaker. That's 90% of the game. But when you watch the highlight's probably going to show every single off-platform great throw. And they're not going to show the good defense in between the highlights. So 90% of the game, Sarah, to your point, is played from the pocket. And you just have to be able to read a defense while the pocket's collapsing on you and make a throw that's accurate to get it going. And the ones that can do that and have a little bit of running and wiggling room, like Vanilla Vic, Goff, running out of the pocket, winning the game with some RPOs, catching touchdown passes. I love a good pocket passer. That's why Brady was so successful. He's the greatest quarterback of all time, and he didn't have to run to do it. The best quarterbacks in the league aren't the fastest quarterbacks. They're the ones that lead. They know how to lead. They know how to rally a team. When bad things are happening, they keep their head down and they just work through it. The ebb and flow of the game, they understand it. You know, when you're down by points, you just keep your head down. You just keep on trying. So you think they're going to lose to the Texans? You ain't beating the Lions this year. Lions going to get that revenge. this year. You guys on a high horse because it was the last time that you guys beat us in that game. And I admit it. You know, you guys jumped out to a 16-9 lead in the first quarter. Got to give them credit where credit is due. But the Lions are better. Lions are better than the Pack right now. Pack's got problems. Lions don't got problems. Lions have problems they have to work through. If I have to say the biggest criticism I have on the Lions, it's still the secondary. It's still the secondary. You got to be able to, the guys got to step up. Next man up. You gave up over 350 yards passing to Geno Smith again. Over 300 yards again. Albeit you're missing Brian Branch. Albeit it's the best performance that they had and they were protecting a lead. You still finish the game out. Get in that third quarter, you know, when you're scoring. I mean, I guess the offense was the defense. They had no answer. But they got to fix that. They got to fix that. Those guys, and really, it's the biggest thing with the Lions' problem is it's the penalties. Like, I don't think it's awful cornerback play. I think it's the fact that you got to learn how to do what you're doing without making the penalties. Stop being so damn handsy. Work on it. This bye week, I hope that they're in there and working the shit out of that. Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, all these guys work on that. But outside of that, man, I love this Lions team. Top to bottom, Packers got problems. Let's see. Have a blessed weekend, everyone. Faith, family, and football. Thank you, Mark, for watching that. You like that backyard, huh? I wish it was my backyard and not something that I pulled off of Canva. Rogers is an asshole, and that's why he'll never. Oh, gosh. Well, there you go. There you go. This is the Lion Villain Report. You can join me Monday through Saturday. Don't forget your lock picks. If you didn't get your lock picks in for this week, you can still put them in there. But every morning, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m., brought to you by NFL Shop. Now, you can use the QR code, but there's a link in the comments for NFL Shop that will save you 30%. I don't want to. I hate being a salesperson. I don't like doing that, but I'll let you know when the best deals. I haven't seen a deal like that. 25% I've seen, and every once in a while they'll do like a 50%, but on a holiday or some type of deal. But they're doing 30% off right now with the link that's in the comments. So we're broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. Thank you to the people that are sharing, liking, and commenting on this content. And we're also on YouTube at Lions Villain Squad. You can support my wife's page with Facebook stars right here. My wife is an advocate for autism awareness. And the Facebook star purpose, if you comment with stars, We're giving all of that to her so she can build this page that's sharing resources for parents that have children with special needs. Join the conversation. That means that when we're on the Facebook page and we put up a post that asks the questions, go into the comments and answer it. We love the conversation. We're just a couple knuckleheads on here, Main Event Mike and I, with a podcast, loving talking football. And it's faith, family, and then football. That's why I can have a conversation with Viking fans like Sarah and Jason MC, and Packer fans like Steve, and Bear fans like Broski. Because it's faith, family, and then football. I can love on the person because I love you guys. And I can hate on your team. And that's still true. But it's faith, family, and then football. In that order. We use football to spend time with our family, to create memories. We don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again on Monday for the Lion Villain Report. God bless. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lies and sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet.
Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose move on the move, but it's simple.
Never give up and we winning it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never this way. We indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity.